So whenever the capitalist class has more power than the government, that leads to corruption and mistrust. Because at that point, you believe that every single move the government makes, which is true, is due because of the profits of the capitalist class. So why are we waging war in Ukraine? Raytheon profits, Boeing profits.
Yeah, for sure.
Why are Americans initially dismissive, and why they are, and I think they are valid to believe this, why they don't trust a Pfizer vaccine. They don't trust the Pfizer vaccine because they believe, rightfully so, that the Pfizer vaccine is being used and sold to the American people for profit. They don't give a fuck about that. So you guys see where the mistrust and the corruption comes from? It comes from when the capitalist is stronger than the government. When the government have more power than the capitalists, you know the government is not making decisions on behalf of the capitalists. In fact, the capitalists must behave or their ass will be locked up like the billionaires in China who thought they were stronger than the government. Hopefully, I don't want to go on a rant, but hope you guys understand that concept on why, even though they have billionaires and they have people who are extremely successful in China, it's a principle of the dictatorship of the proletariat that they implemented where these people will never become more powerful. You guys understand? And if we get halfway there in America, that would solve a lot of problems. Can you imagine if Elon Musk was terrified of us? You know what I mean? It's Steve Jobs. Go ahead, Ted.
Yeah, I was just going to say, I mean, I'm reminded of one of the White House tapes under Nixon that was leaked maybe about 20 years ago, and it always stuck with me. Was a conversation. Nixon had just imposed wage and price controls to try to fight inflation. And that's a socialist move, right? That's basically a planned economy. And it really pissed off the economic ruling class, the corporations. And I think it was the CEO of GE, if memory serves, but one of those big Fortune 500 companies is recorded talking to Nixon on the phone, complaining and whinging about it. And Nixon at some point, and he's basically like threatening Nixon, like the boys are not happy, you got to change this, our profits are tanking. And Nixon basically says, now you listen to me, you son of a bitch. Like, I'm the fucking president of the fucking United States.
Yeah.
And if I want to send soldiers in there to kill you, you will be dead within a couple of hours. So shut the fuck up and don't fuck with me and don't call here again. And I remember thinking, I bet the American president has never spoken to those people like that ever since. That was the last hurrah of government power over corporate power.
Yeah. But and you know what? Speaking of Nixon, let's not forget he was the first sitting U.S. president to make his way over to China and open up communication. And I don't know how you feel about this, Nick, but do you have any hope that Trump? I mean, whatever people think of Nixon, you can't take that away from him, right? He was the first one to open up our dialogue.
Well, a liberal Democrat couldn't have done that. A President McGovern couldn't have done that, wouldn't have gotten away with it.
So do you have hope? I mean, especially given that we have little Marco in there, Secretary of State, do you think little Marco's going to stay in line? Or do you is Trump going to pull his reins in and be like, look, you're going to execute my foreign policy vision for the world? Or are we going to see little Marco run game like Pompeo did and run game like Blinken did? Because we know Biden was not the president. Blinken was the shadow president. So are we going to see him do a Blinken, or are we going to see him be basically, I mean, part of my language, but is little Marco going to be Trump's bitch?
Fam. Something that people should remember is that Donald Trump is 78 years old. He is no Joe Biden. Like, he obviously no Joe Biden, but Trump is an old man. So Trump, despite how he marketed himself, these things take a toll on you. And Trump is not necessarily a geopolitically, intellectually curious person. He does think outside of, this is why he's better than the swamp, because he does think outside of how the swamp usually thinks. But this is why I say it's important to listen to not what they say, but who they hire. Because Trump may have good instincts, but Trump, and this is my read of the guy, he cares more about the marketing. He cares more about being the face of the place. That's why there was a lot of inconsistencies in his first term. That's why he said he claimed he was for peace. They say he was for peace, but he expanded the sanction regime. There's a lot of hypocrisies there. That's because Trump may believe in these things ideologically, but he's more interested in selling the idea while people like Marco fucking go crazy in the background. So to answer your question directly, it's going to be another Anthony Blinken situation. It's going to be another Mike Pompeo situation where Trump is selling the idea of MAGA. He may have some influence, but he's not going to fight Marco if Marco puts in a strong recommendation to wage war against China, because Trump is just like Joe Rogan, where whoever the last person he talks to is the person who's going to influence him the most. So if he surrounds his cabinet with neocons like Marco Rubio, who's the person talking to him? So Trump may have those instincts, but I don't see him fighting his cabinet like that. I mean, we see if I'm wrong, but based on who he's hiring and based on the decision that I've seen, I still got to do a segment on it. The fact that they're not cutting off Ukraine aid, the fact that he wrote up the joke of a Russian peace plan that he knew Russia would never agree to, just so he can set up saying, oh, we tried. To me, it's clear that he's going to, just like all presidents, he's going to continue the empire, but he's also kind of dangerous because he's going to market it way better.
Yeah, but I do think the last person going to be in his ear is going to be Elon. Honestly, I really do think Elon is going to be the shadow president, the shadow vice president. I think that guy is going to be the last word in Trump's ear at night.
I can see that. And that make it even less likely that we will see peace because Elon directly benefits from military contracts. So if there's more conflicts, that means they would need Starlink in the area of the conflict, so the military will have access. Well, I know
he wants Tesla to proliferate in China because China has a huge EV market that trumps Tesla by a gazillion times, right? But he wants to proliferate Tesla so that he has market interest there. Elon's smart. He's hedging his bets because he's got businesses of all sorts, right? Yeah. And so no matter which way the government goes, if they go towards war, like, hey, I got Starlink for you. Hey, I got servers for you. Hey, I got electricity for you. What do you need?
Starlink will proliferate just as well under peace. I think both Trump and Musk as internationalist business people have more interest in peace than in war.
I can see that.
They can make more money that way. And that's why I think
Peter Thiel is someone we got to worry about. I think I kind of agree with that. I can see what you're saying, but I think Peter Thiel with Palantir, the AI company used to kill Palestinians. Peter Thiel is huge influence.
That's true.
Trump. But I do think you got a good point, Ted. Sorry to interrupt. Please.
No, I was just going to say.
That guy, he's a JD Vance guy.
I got to say, I think Trump's, my instinct, obviously we don't know, right, what's going to happen. But my instinct is just that Trump really hates war. He just does. I mean, we saw this, with his rhetoric about Iraq. We saw it with his policy about Afghanistan. He's been very clear. He doesn't like wars. And he told Netanyahu, you got to wrap it up before I take over. He's told Zelensky, we're going to have a little peace talk here. So it's not like he's not going to be the peacemaker that maybe we would want, but he's definitely not going to be trying. I don't see him starting a war with China. Even if Rubio tells him we got to bomb China.
I don't think he's going to start a war with China. According to what I think, and this is all speculation to be clear, the NATO plan, I think we're going to see the conflict with China escalate around 2030. Like whenever you ask these European leaders, that's like the year they float. The Navy said they'll be prepared by 2027. I think that's optimistic. Whoever will be present in 2028 will be critical. So I think you're 100% right. It won't be Trump. I think Trump will will climb the escalation ladder. You know what I mean? He will be the setup to the China war. He won't be reelected unless he does some crazy Don shit and say fuck terminally. I don't think he's gonna do that. I think that liberal derangement syndrome. But if JD Vance wins 2020, he may be the guy. I can see Pete Buttigieg being the guy. You know what I mean? So I think I agree with you. I don't think Trump is gonna start a war with China. I think it would probably be maybe if I'm wrong. I think at latest the 2032 president, whoever wins that election, will be the decider. At the latest, I think. But go ahead, guys.
Yeah, not Pete Buttigieg though.
Oh, I think Pete Buttigieg is high on the list. Very high on the Democratic list.
That's how weak their bench is. Come on.
Yes.
Well, who else? You tell me.
Ted, you're 100% right because Pete was relatively unknown when he ran last time, and I know we haven't paid attention to this, but he's beloved among the liberal class now because over the last few years he's been going on Fox News and he's been doing this Fox News exchange thing. I'm keeping you guys up to.
It's true. He's always on there.
I've been paying attention to this shit. So he's gonna be the guy. I promise you. And I know it seems incomprehensible.
He's on a short list, very short list.
He's gonna be one of them. I know it may seem incomprehensible to believe that, but I thought it was incomprehensible that Kamala Harris would be vice president.
It's the way Democrats think too. It's like, oh, we've now run 2 women, we've run a person of color. Now we get to try a gay guy. That's what this is about.
Absolutely. And so I definitely see them grooming.
They haven't learned their lesson that you can't just run based on like checking the check marks that you think are right.
The Democrats think that they did everything great in the last election. They think that they didn't message.
You think
properly.
That's genuine, or you think that's like really that's genuflecting when they go on Rachel Maddow's show?
They think they need better propaganda. That's what they think. They think like if everybody really understood how awesome we were, then and how great like Biden was.
They think it's great, us the economy, that we don't get.
Don't believe your lying wallet. It's like,
they think we don't get how great they are, so they don't therefore have to change.
Bam.
And I add this. You want to know who else is doing it, but to the nth degree? Bernie Sanders. I have a segment planned on RBN2. I sent out a tweet today about it. I saw Bernie Sanders. It's on CNN's YouTube channel. Bernie Sanders went to CNN not to eviscerate the Democrats as any leftist should, but Bernie been doing these interviews, essentially giving Democrats advice on how to lie to the working class. Mm-hmm. And his message is, I am very proud of what Biden accomplished. We accomplished a lot. He's the most progressive president of all time. Well, where we went wrong is we didn't message it right. This is the position of not fucking Amy Klobuchar. This is the position of the quote unquote farthest left in the Democratic Party, is that they essentially got to convince workers that their policies are already good.
Nick, tell me what you think. I'm really glad you brought up the Bernie thing. And I wrote like a big book on Bernie, so I'm really obsessed with Bernie. But like you remember, like right after the election, right, the day after, he put out this screed, like he slipped. The wolf is loose. He slipped loose off his leash, and like the Democrats forgot the working class. That's why this all happened. Mm-hmm. I'm gonna in the next few weeks, you're gonna be hearing more from me. Like I'm 83 years old. Fuck you all. I'm gonna do what I want now. Right? It's like, and it's here we are. It's been well beyond 3 weeks. Not only has that not happened, but they got to him, right? I mean, they got to him.
Yeah, they're not investigating his wife's university anymore, aren't they? No. There are a lot of people think that's where they got him at. I think it's
they've got
Bernie. This is my theory. Obviously, we will never know. Obviously, there's the wife shady college situation, but Bernie has grandchildren, guys. Mm-hmm. Bernie talks about it all the time, how he has grandchildren that he wants the best for. So Matt, we are going against the most psychotic psychopaths in recent human history. So you think that the liberal class wouldn't threaten not physical violence against his grandchildren, but ruin their potential financial aspects? They could easily go to Bernie and say, "Man, I know you about to die. But if you screw us, we will make sure that your grandchildren never get accepted in school." I can easily see them making them threats. So Bernie looking out for his family and obviously his own comfort as well. That's why I think they use the grandchildren against him. Like if Bernie screwed the system, they will go after their children. And I think that and I know I may not be. I have no evidence for this. I acknowledge this, but this is the only thing we can use to explain the malicious sellout, which is Bernie Sanders. Because I'm gonna do the segment maybe next week after I'm done moving for the RBN fam. But he was just on CNN. It was disgusting. Every time you hear him, it's disgusting. Just him. They still apologizing for Biden as if the election is still going on. You know what I mean? That's the rolling. And I really wish I listened to Michael Parenti. I really wish I listened to Chris Hedges. And I love how you say you're obsessed with Bernie. I am too, because the propaganda he's doing on the working class is the most complicated and sophisticated. He played a very particular role for the ruling class. And it's so effective that it tricked me. It tricked me a few years ago.
Sure.
And I know I'm way more perceptive.
I dumped Bernie a few years ago.
Yeah, you were the smartest among us. So I was obviously not as as sharp as I was a few years ago, but I was still very distrustful of politicians. Don't get me even when I felt for I was like, I will never vote for the duopoly again. But that's how effective the Bernie shit is. They tricked a young me. So that's why we gotta expose these people, because they are one of the most useful friends of the oligarchy that give progressive credibility to an imperialist genocidal party. That's why when Ro Khanna went on my show and said, will you ever support Bernie Sanders or me or a progressive if we run in 2028, because he was testing the waters on RBN, I was like, hell no. Would I ever waste the working class resources like that ever again? You know what I mean? But I'm ready. Go ahead, Ted.
No. I appreciate you giving us all this different perspective. I wasn't even planning on keeping you. We weren't planning on keeping you this long, but I appreciate you being here because the conversation just kind of naturally flowed. But basically, I think your outlook for this is that you're not hopeful for a Rubio Secretary of State.
Oh.
Like next, do you think he lasts 4 years?
No,
it's a damning sign of the incoming Trump administration. There's a lot of optimism, especially among the libertarian right after his recent pardon, after the ceasefire head fake, that's the fake ceasefire. There's a lot of optimism that Trump may shake things up, but wait, just wait, guys. This happens every time.
Are you with Ted? Do you think he's going to last 4 years? Do you think Rubio will stick around for the whole term?
I think he will. Just because he's supported by the duopoly. 990 is pretty strong. You know what I mean? He's going to play by the rules. Any controversies that Rubio have will be like controversies among the proletariat, which no one gives a fuck about. Like, he's not going to do anything that's going to piss off the ruling class. So that would be my guess, right?
Yeah, he's going to play by their rules. Fuck Trump's rules. He's going to play by the deep state, the ruling class rules, and he will. I think he'll remain in power. I think he's clever enough to sit tight and just stay there in that position that he has because it's so powerful. No matter what Trump says to him behind closed doors, bitches him out, whatever. I think Rubio will stick it out. He'll be there because there's a greater cause for him behind closed doors that none of us are privy to. Again, I don't have any evidence of this other than having been a Capitol Hill reporter, and I kind of get the vibe, and I kind of know what these people are like. So, I appreciate you sticking around to talk about all of that stuff about projections for the, Trump administration. Really appreciate it. And I hope you come back. I know you moved some stuff around. I hope your move goes well. Are you staying in Central? Are you mountain time? You're mountain time.
Yeah, I'm in Central.
Central time.
I got a lot of ops, so I'm gonna say I have a nice place. I'm set up a nice studio. It's been a long time coming. I'm just happy to get this move done. So I won't be on live or for the rest of this week. I'll be back next week. But anytime, it's always great to do these shows.
Appreciate it. And moving is such a big.
And great to meet you, Ted. I think the first time I see you, I think we did a show with Radio Sputnik before, but
I
thought so.
Yeah, I think this is the first time we've seen face to face, so it's great to meet you.
Yeah, you were
definitely down to do these shows more often. It was
for sure.
Very great conversation.
Please come.
You should invite Ted on your show too. He's like a walking encyclopedia. I don't like now that you've kind of interacted face to face. I always joke about how Ted is like those Snapple caps with random bits of trivia. Like, he knows all this weird history, and he's great, like historian context. Like, so, and I think you guys see eye to eye a lot with the whole. With the whole communism. I'm not a commie, you pinko bastards. No, I'm but I don't hate any.
We're working on you.
Like I said, I was a Bernie supporter. I'm from California. There was a lot of that in my roots, and but as I got older, I kind of leaned more not hardcore libertarian by any stretch, but I'm politically homeless. So
yeah, communism is a very complicated science. Marxism is a complicated science. So that's why I never begrudge people, especially in the modern age. A lot of people hate labels because the way labels are abused. So I would never begrudge someone who's
communism has a lot of baggage too.
It's very complicated. So the biggest thing is, are you class conscious? And I will draw the line if you're anti-communist. Like if you're a crazy Tucker Carlson I don't mess with those people.
Like a crazy super right wing and tunnel vision. Yeah, I don't fall into any of those categories. My personal beliefs are like sovereignty, well, that's a lot of libertarian stuff, basically, if I just kind of summarize it, and not the right libertarian, like more just leave everybody alone. Let's focus on our country. Let's get our kids educated. Let's get our people housed, fed, educated, and like just stop dropping bombs on people.
Capitalism, sorry.
So, that's just me. Like, leave people alone. They want to run their business and let people smoke cigarettes at their bar that they own. So fucking what? You don't go to a bar to be healthy. RFK is not going to be hanging out at the bar. He's going to be at some salad bar. I
don't know. I don't think RFK has passed up too many drinks lately.
Well, no, not now. He gave up alcohol 30 years ago.
God, his face looks like Iggy Pop.
Right. No, I told you. You're so fucked up, Ted.
I know, you told me.
Dude,
I know.
First of all, he's a super pale-skinned Irish American Catholic, right? Like, and he grew up like windsurfing. He got all that sun damage, and then he used to drink heavily. So when he was young, and so then he cleaned up. So that's why from the neck up he looks like that, and then from the neck down, it's
he looks like someone walked up.
You're
like
70?
He's using his face to walk on. But all right.
You're so awful, mean. Haters. He looks great for 70, just not from here.
His whole body's leathery like that.
Because it's a lot of sun damage. And when you're like a pale-skinned Irish American, that's,
Don't
bound
live in
to
California.
happen.
Yeah, all right.
Yeah, and he's a Californian married to a Hollywood celebrity. You're out on the beach all day. You're going to look like that when you're 70.
As one does.
Did not know that he was a falconer. So there you go. But Nick, this conversation has way spun out of control, talking about falconry and the Kennedys. But appreciate you so much. Good luck on settling in and moving and all that stuff, because it is always a pain, and that you've carved out some time for us. Appreciate it. Thank you, Nick.
Thank you, guys.
Hi, Nick.
Make sure you guys check out RBN. He always does great stuff, great topics. Thank you, Nick.
Have a good one, guys. Take care.
Bye.
Bye.